All right, this is a video demo for our band rotator cuff routine. Remember, when we're doing this sequence of exercises, we want to make sure that we're not using momentum, nice and slow and controlled. All right, all of our shoulder injury prevention work, this is the one that we probably want to be the most cautious with and make sure that we're going through the full range of motion with a nice, even, consistent tempo. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is, and again, we don't need a lot of tension for this. Okay, so if the tension is keeping you from going to the full range of motion for any of these exercises, we need to stand closer or use a smaller tube or just lower the resistance. Okay, again, we don't need a ton of tension. What's more important is, like I said, the range of motion. Okay, so the first exercise we're going to do is we're going to start at our belly button. Okay, so right here I have a little space between my elbow and my hip. I'm not leaning. I see sometimes we press that elbow against our hip bone right there. We actually want to let about an inch, a little bit of space. From here, okay, I want to keep my arm in that L shape or 90-degree angle. I'm going to rotate from my belly button out to where my thumb is in line with my ear. Okay, so right now, if you're looking at me from the side, once I rotate out, I want to get to the point where that thumb and ear is like at the midline. Okay, a lot of times when I see us do this, we're too short. We're going about halfway or 2/3 of the way. That last inch or two when we get to that midpoint, right, that midline, that ear depth, okay, is when we'll start to feel that dull, achy feeling in the back of our shoulder. Remember, no sharp pains, and ideally that's what we're looking for right there, okay, the ends of the range of motion. So again, first exercise is bending my elbow, 90 degrees, starting at my belly button, rotating out to where my thumb is lined with my ear, and then coming back. Nice and slow and controlled, and then doing that on both arms, okay? The next one is we're gonna go the opposite. Now for the sake of this video, I'm gonna switch hands, gonna do my other arm, okay? First, I'm gonna start out at my ear, so that where I finished the last one is where I'm starting this one, and now I'm rotating into my belly button. Same idea, right? Just a little space in between my hip and my elbow, arm in 90-degree angle. Again, nice and controlled tempo, rotating all the way in and then letting it extend all the way out. If your elbow moves a little bit here, it's okay. We just don't want to let it flail too far away from our side, okay? The next one we're going to do, and this is the one that's probably the hardest out of all and the one I see the most mistakes on when we want to lean into or use momentum, okay? We're going to face towards where the bands are anchoring or wrapping around. First thing I want to do is I'm going to elevate that arm so it's parallel or just about parallel to the ground. Once I'm in this position, again, common theme, that arm in a 90-degree angle, and I'm going to rotate back to where my thumb is in line with my ear, and then I'm going to control back down. Again, rotating up and back down. Where do I see mistakes here? I see us drop that elbow too far, okay? I also see us want to lean back and use momentum, okay? So again, the only thing that's really moving here is that arm and that shoulder, right? So it's starting, my arm's right now parallel to the ground, and then I'm rotating so it finishes now perpendicular to the ground. And a nice, controlled tempo down and up. And again, ideally I'm feeling that same dull, achy feeling in that same kind of area in the back of my shoulder, okay? The last one we're actually not gonna do slow and controlled. This is more like a softball pitch, and you'll see why we're actually going backwards in an overhead position. And because of that, we don't want to go slow and controlled. This one, we want to be nice and fluid and smooth. We want to be nice and high and wide. I usually see us turn to the side, so we like cock our hips a little bit. Again, if you ever watched a softball pitcher on the mound, that's kind of the motion we're going for here. And it's nice and high and wide and fluid. And what I really want to think about is that palm facing towards that anchor. Okay, that whole time. So again, nice and high and wide and fluid, and all these exercises, I'm doing them on one arm, then the other. Okay, so ideally when you do this, you go right arm, left arm, right arm, left arm, right arm, left arm, until you get all the way through the 4 exercises. So while one side is working, the other one is resting. Remember, nice, even, easy tempo, good breathing throughout.